This is like my fifth time trying to record this video, and hopefully it's not going to randomly cut out like the other ones. But this is a video response to AlphaOmegaSin's video, what are the scariest video games that you have played? And I thought that I'd give a little insight on my experience throughout the survival horror genre. And with that, I will start with the very first survival horror series that I got into, that being Resident Evil. Now, the first game in the series that I had played was number 4, and this completely introduced me to the survival horror genre, despite the fact that it's not quite as scary as the other ones, and it was a complete stylistic shift in the series. But I enjoyed it a lot. I ran through it several times, and I had a lot of fun uh, racking up all the different money and finding new weapons and buying the new weapons and whatnot. But I never did get I think it's called the PRL. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. The one that it's like an electric beam and you can one-shot Sadler. I never did get that because I guess I just didn't have the patience to get 5 stars on all the mercenary missions, but maybe one day. Uh, my favorite game in the series is Code Veronica X, and the reason why is because I felt that it had the best atmosphere, I should say, and just something about it, I felt that the story was the best word I can come up with is progressive, to where all the twists and turns and stuff, are absolutely legendary throughout the series, but I felt that that is my favorite game of the series, and I had a lot of fun playing that one. Enough talk about just the Resident Evil series, because there is much, much more than I could say, but I don't want this to just time out randomly again. We'll move on to possibly my second favorite survival horror game of all time, and that is Dead Space. This game is just a living, breathing masterpiece, in my opinion. It's definitely one of the scariest games that I have played thus far, and it was very interesting too. It gripped me like Resident Evil 4 did, to where I ran through it several times. I guess because if you really play it, it's a lot like Resident Evil 4, but no matter what it's like, I think that the game is amazing. I played through the second one and I didn't enjoy it quite as much. I ended up selling it. I wasn't a fan of the multiplayer function, mostly because I sucked at it, but I'm excited for the third one. I'm definitely not going to play co-op because I don't think that that's going to be as enjoyable, but my brother has a pre-order on it, so once it gets here, we will definitely be playing that one, or I know that I will. And on to another series that everybody should know, and that is Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2 has to be my top favorite survival horror game of all time. The story is just absolutely incredible. I don't even know how else I should put that. It is very mind-boggling, and anybody who's played it knows how many twists and turns there are, and that's what makes this game so beautiful. But the scariest game that I have ever played is the third one. I felt that this game isn't as good as the second one, mostly because I felt it was a lot shorter. I played through Silent Hill 2, and it took me, I want to say 9 to 10 hours, something like that, but my playtime, by the time I finished Silent Hill 3, was 5 or 6. It was very short. On to other series that I have played. I played the first in the Condemned series, and that was a very interesting game. I don't exactly know what else to say about it. It was very psychological in a sense that all the weird stuff that was going on, and, Monolith is just famous for trying to screw with you. But the ending, I guess, didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I felt that it was a very poor ending when he's in the sink in the bathroom and washing his face or something, and he turns around and it's like half robotic. I didn't understand that. Also, the boss fight at the end, where it was just one huge boss fight that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. I guess if I really read into it and whatnot and understood it, it would make sense to me. But from what I played it, when I played it, I mean, it was just, it felt unorganized in a sense. It was just kind of like thrown in there to where you randomly have one big boss fight. But enough about that. I have, let's see if you can see it, Obscure the Aftermath. I've never played the first one, but this is the sequel, and I don't like it, to be completely honest. I don't feel that it's very fun. It's very cheesy. Like, I know Obscure's supposed to kind of take after the whole teen horror movies and whatnot, but it's a very cheesy game, and I didn't think it was very fun. I never actually beat it. I got about an hour and a half into it and said screw it and just never touched it. I did play Eternal Darkness. I didn't get incredibly far into it. It's not a bad game by any means, but personally it wasn't exactly for me. Just something about it didn't really put me in a trance like most other horror games can, but as far as the game itself, it's good. Just like I said, it's not exactly for me. Now, I'll finish this video off by saying the one thing that saddens me the most about myself, and that would have to be the fact that I have never played a Fatal Frame game. I've never exactly been able to see them in stores, and they can get a bit pricey on the internet, but one day I will definitely have to find them for cheap or something, or maybe even go to a local game store and find one, but I need to play them someday, and I plan on doing it, because those games look absolutely astonishing. No matter if people are going to cry about the fact that you're using a camera, I think that would make it even more interesting, and just the game in itself looks scary as all could be, and to me, that would make the game just infinitely more pleasurable. But if I ever pick it up, if anyone should care, I might just give my opinion on it, even though I know my opinion would be that it's amazing. But I will finish this video now, and I'm glad that it actually didn't cut out on me. But hope you liked the video, and later.